Hello everyone, my name is Vsevolod Nikitin. I'm the Pre-Sales and After Sales Director at MedVision Europe. And in this video we would like to show you our family of endovascular and angiography simulators, AngioVision. Standard version of the AngioVision simulator. Let's have a closer look. So it is a unibody design located on a mobile platform with 4 wheels with stoppers and your X-ray and sign pedals down there. In the top section of the simulator we have 3 monitors, 2 of which are non-touchscreen and a touchscreen for your right hand menu input and controls. All of the monitors have anti-glare coating and are installed on very flexible boom arms. Moving down to the central area of the simulator, here we have the central block, which is the one where all the physical controls are located. In the central area of the standard simulator, we have our central block where all the sensors and the feedback system is located, and the feedback system will stop completely the catheter that you're using, for example, if the picture on the screen dictates so, or it will introduce various levels of tension. In the central area, we have the C-arm control panel imitator, height adjustment buttons, the access port, the on and off switch, and color-coded connectors for your indiflator and syringe. On the left-hand side, we have our instrument holder, and let's have a look one by one. So the first one is our indiflator imitator right here, which imitates the real one, and you can operate it in 2 modes, just like a real one, where you can screw in, or you can hold the lever and jump like this. Next is our syringe imitator, a guide wire catheter from the holder, and here we also have the little helper right here. And in the holder we also have our instrument imitators, which are the 7 French catheter and the 5 French catheter. The way we use our real instruments in the simulator, the 7 French and 5 French catheters, is they will be corresponding to different instruments in the software. And in the software you will see some instrument selection, and it will say 7 French, and some instrument selection as a hint it will say that you should take the physical 5 French. Here we have the X-ray, sign, and menu control screens. The sign screen is controlled from the control panel. The X-ray screen, we have the X-ray, the C-arm visualization model, and the area where your messages are going to be popping up. When transporting the standard version of the simulator, we recommend not to move it around or lift it by the central area or this area over here, because this is fiberglass, and this is where all the sensors and feedback system is located. We recommend moving it, holding it by the central stand. Also, when transporting, we recommend that you fold the monitors together or remove them completely. As you remember, we have 3 instruments which may correspond to different virtual instruments in the menu. And to choose them, we gave a little hint. So here at the top it says catheter 7 French. So you know the top one is always going to be the orange one. In the middle it says catheter 5 French. So it's the green one here. And the bottom section for choosing the guide wire corresponds, of course, to the guide wire here. Let's have a closer look at our menu controls. And one important thing to note before we start is working with the indiflators. Sometimes the software will ask you to remove all the instruments before starting, and what might have happened is you might have had pressure set to some value. What you need to do is you need to release the indiflator and pull a little bit so it shows you 0.0, and of course remove the instruments from the access point. Looking at the menu controls, at the top you have 3 tabs which will correspond to different sections, and they may differ from module to module, so pay attention to this area here. Some of our instruments will be doubled in the software over here, and here is where we have our virtual access point choice and the indicator of the pressure. And on the right, one of the most important things is you have your instrument selection. So again, catheter 7 French, 5 French, and guide wire will correspond to these menus. So you press here and you choose what you want to work with. And here, by clicking on the arrows, you can click different types of virtual instruments. Same here. So I can choose a balloon catheter, for example, or I can choose a diagnostic catheter or stents. And when I'm choosing the instrument, I can also change the sizes and diameters of them and press accept. And with the guide wire here as well, I have a super stiff or a diagnostic guide wire as well. When working with the instruments, the software will tell you by lighting up in white that the instrument is inserted. So let me show you. I am inserting the instrument until I see it light up in white. There it is. It means that it is picking up the instrument with the sensors. And when you are changing the instrument, you can remove it completely, or you can pull it out just enough until it stops lighting up in white. Going further, let's go into the information tab right here. So this will give you your anatomy and description. And a video tutorial is the module that you have selected being performed by a professional. After you are done with the module, you press exit, or the operation will be terminated automatically, and you get your familiar report that you can print, launch next exercise, and retry the exercise. The familiar interface that is similar throughout all of our surgical simulators we see here, endosurgery and rehearsal system. Let's talk about this a little more. Endosurgery would be your generic modules, your generic anatomies, and some clinical cases that you would be training and learning how to perform certain actions. However, the rehearsal system is very unique for this simulator. With the rehearsal system, you can take a real DICOM file and some additional materials and create real patient cases. Let's talk about this a little later. Training courses are sequences of endosurgery modules. After launching a training course, don't forget to go back and cancel it, or you will have to go through all of it before it lets you choose any module that you want. Statistics screen is the screen where you would choose your past reports to have another look at them. Teaching materials are grayed out here because this is a demo simulator, so there are no video recordings here yet. Additional settings. Here is where you would find, again, familiar personalization monitor settings. Here you can set 2 monitors or 3 monitors mode and the number of hardware access points, but this is more for the smart version of the simulator because software is the same. And with monitor settings, you can touch the screen of a touchscreen monitor and it's going to reconfigure if these settings are off. Going back. And here is the calibration tab if you have entered the software in the service mode. So calibration. And here you choose a tab that corresponds to the parameter you want to calibrate. So for example, calibrate access points. This is the calibration. After you're done, press accept. Same here, simulator 1 and simulator 2 is when you have multiple access points, for example, with the smart version of the simulator. And here is where you can calibrate other instruments. So you do what the section tells you and you press on that section. It will light up in green, means you have calibrated it successfully. And calibration of feedback. Follow the instructions, press these buttons so that they would light up in green, and you're done. Very straightforward, very simple. We did this so that our clients could do it themselves. Press accept at the end. Select user, brings you back to the user selection screen. As with all of our simulators, to enter service mode, all you have to do is press user on the user selection screen, enter 427, and press accept, and you're good to go. You can tell you are in the service mode when you get additional settings and calibration screens. After getting into Windows, you can check your monitor settings like we spoke in the Lab Vision video. You can also find your folders with videos and images of the recordings of your modules if you want to upload them to a cloud or to a flash drive. And last but not least, a very important program here, ComTest, which you can open either with a long press and pressing open or double press on a touch screen, or you can also use, of course, a mouse and keyboard with our simulator like with any other surgical simulator that we have. So ComTest is a tool for deeper diagnostics and maybe fixing some possible problems with the simulator, and we only recommend going here under the control of our technical specialist. So this is, again, very self-explanatory so that you could do it yourself. You read what it says, it's like a mini game, and you press start and tick boxes if needed. For example, instrument moves without hardness or instrument is not damaged, and then you press skip stage. I'm going to be pressing skip stage because this simulator is of course already calibrated, and here notice you have these tabs you might need to be switching between. I'm going to skip this stage, check movement sensor. This is where you configure, for example, your control panel and joysticks. Next, pedals, inflator, contrast syringe, self-expanding stent if you have one, and save results to file. Done. Let's have a look at our training modules, and they are located under the Endosurgery tab of the main menu. Here we have both the fundamental modules and more advanced ones. And when we talk about fundamental, we also have both the task trainer kind of abstract environment kind of modules, and we have the more realistic ones. So balloon angioplasty and stenting, brain vessels, uterine artery embolization, endovascular aortic repair, and advanced coronaries are the ones we have uploaded on this simulator. And let's have a look at them, for example, on the example of EVAR and TEVAR procedures. So after you press the name of the module, you will see some submodules that are also included, and we can choose different ones and press next. And more importantly, when you get to this selection screen, what you can do is you can cycle through different anatomies. Here we have, for example, a man of 75 years old, and here you will have your exercise, your video course, and don't forget to tick the free mode of the operation if you want to try something different than it is intended by the program of the module. Here you can set difficulty manually. You can have a bespoke setting here, or you can cycle through presets. These will only affect the grade that you get at the end of the module. And then you start it, and there we go. After you exit it, you will get your statistics screen. So let me go back and show you some of the cases where we have more, for example, anatomies. Here we have two. Let me see. So here we have the renal stenting mode, and this is to illustrate the different anatomies that you can choose before starting a surgery. With this simulator, incorrect actions of the user might introduce some complications that are programmed into the module. And in this section, we would like to talk about rehearsal system, which is very unique to this simulator. Here we have TEVAR, EVAR, carotid, and iliac. And this module is intended for enhanced training. So when we're talking about regular modules of the AngioVision simulator, those are more generic. Some complications, some pathologies, yes, but more suited for the regular training program. Rehearsal system is oriented more towards professionals where, for example, let's imagine in 2 weeks we have a young surgeon who is going to perform some kind of surgery, and they are nervous. And this system is designed to bring forth the confidence and try to conduct the surgery even before it happens. Now here, for example, let's have a look at EVAR modules where we have a few anatomies, quite a few, and I'm going to choose patient C. And here you can see that based on a DICOM file, based on the data given by the surgeon, we have a complete clinical case. So this is an actual person. And if we press next, on the next screen, we can select some instruments that we're going to be operating with. So for example, available stent grafts, if you want to try different sizes, you can choose this one and move it down to the selected roster. And here I have chosen 2 of them, and then I can set filter type, for example, this one, filter proximal diameter, this one, and this is how I am left with the available instruments for this module. And after we launch, you will be taken to a more bespoke experience where this module has been created after a specific patient. When operating the control panel for C-arm and patient table, you will see them move here as well. And what we want to show you here is how the anatomy looks like. This is the regular view. You can also switch to negative. But what we want to show you is our 3D mode where you can actually see the physics and how everything looks like in our software. For generic endosurgery modules, we try to take more standard and common ones. For endosurgery, we try to choose more complicated modules. Here what we want to show you is how, for example, the contrast is going to look on the left screen. So the frame rate and the quality of the picture is very nice. You can see it here. A fact that we would like to bring to your attention is also the realistic and smooth behavior of our imitated, you could say, catheter in software. And I want to illustrate it with this abstract environment module where you can see when I am introducing the guide wire, you can see it going in loops, and the behavior of it is very, very realistic. And in general, when working with intricate anatomies, you can get into any vessel and not only the programmed ones. However, you can also damage the vessel that you're working on, and this will introduce complications. Also, with the feedback, when you are operating, you can feel the tension and the resistance up to a complete stop of the introduced instrument. When you get your new and shiny simulator, all you have to do is connect two cables. One of them is the power cable, absolutely standard. Connected here, only goes in one way. Same for your pedals, only goes in one way. Connected here until you hear a click. And to remove it, grab it by the metal part and press the lever here and pull out gently. A little higher, we have 4 USB-A ports where you can connect, for example, we have connected a wireless mouse. You can connect flash drives or something else. And if for any reason you cannot connect to Wi-Fi to do an update or remote diagnostics, we have the wired Ethernet cable port here. Thank you for watching. This concludes the video about AngioVision Standard. This and many other videos about our wide portfolio of simulators you can find on our website, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Thank you.